The crypto bull market is on. We're going to look at exactly what the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, has to say about this, as well as looking at a number of different metrics that show that we are potentially in the midst of an early onset bull market for cryptocurrency. So hit the like button and let's dive into today's video. Now guys, I know what I'm going to get in the comments down below. We've not seen the Bitcoin halving, and the Bitcoin halving is not for another year or so, and my mate Benjamin Cowan tells me this. Well guys, there is a lot of metrics out there that you can't just pay attention to the one that suits the narrative. Now yes, I am going to be pro bull market in this, and it's mainly because of what we can see being said by the CEO of BlackRock, which we'll look at slightly later on. But if you were to look at a number of different charts, there is one chart that obviously shows a Bitcoin halving. It shows that in the last sort of 2 cycles or so, that after a Bitcoin halving, we then have a bull market. But there's one thing you should know. When it comes to trading and when it comes to charts, just because something has happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. But stop relying on one little metric that tells us that this can't possibly happen, because you potentially will massively lose out if you're not DCAing into the markets right now. And that's obviously just my opinion. It's not financial advice. And we'll look at why it's so important, in my opinion, that I am DCAing into cryptos right now. And in a video I'm going to cover later on, I'm going to show you 5 cryptos that I am actually DCAing into right this second, and why they should be on your radar. So definitely subscribe if you want that video. So there's a few different sentiments you can look at. And while we look at normally on crypto charts, just the normal scale, if you look at it on a logarithmic scale, then it shows you a completely different story. And this is the total crypto market cap on a logarithmic scale. What that effectively means is it's done in kind of like the terms of the size of the move, percentage sizes of moves, and not so much done on the actual price, because all these moves down here, this bottom price was when the market was around 50 million, and then to that top it was like $1 trillion, right? But then you can see what is basically happening. And the idea, the anticipation, is that we could perhaps be in an elongated part 7 of a multi-stage bull market, of which we are actually perhaps not in a full-blown bear market, but perhaps just on a pullback from what was the full stage of bull market before. Now, on every scale that you look at this in crypto, or anything for that matter, you could look at it on a 1-minute chart, or a 1-month chart, or a yearly chart. If you look at Bitcoin on a yearly chart, we're definitely in an uptrend. And if you look at it on a monthly chart, we're still definitely in an uptrend. And what this is anticipating is we are potentially in this level 7 down here, okay? Where we've seen the first impulse wave, which we basically saw before was the last bull market. You can see the last bull market run up. We then had this pullback, and this pullback then comes in up here. And then the second sort of rally towards the upside would be the next all-time high for Bitcoin and other cryptos. And here's another metric to pay attention to. This is a Gaussian channel. I don't personally care too much for many indicators, but this is why I want to draw your attention to this, because if you're just paying attention to the one thing that everyone else is holding on to for dear life, which is to do with the Bitcoin halving, well, that's just one metric. This is another metric that basically tells you every time the DXY, or the US dollar, turns red, the DXY swings down and the bull market begins for cryptocurrency. This has been true in 2016, 2017, back in 2020, and it's literally just turned red here, guys. So, if we're going to use this one metric, then you'll say, right, we're in a bull market. And it's a little bit uncertain, I know. So this piece of news is what has me very excited indeed. And this is obviously the main talking point right now when it comes to cryptocurrency. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, with around $9 trillion of assets under management, which is 3 times larger than the entire crypto market was at the top of the last bull market, says that he wants to make it cheaper for trading Bitcoin. He's saying he wants to use the firm's heft or size to make it less expensive and easier to invest in cryptocurrency. It costs a lot of money right now for transactions in Bitcoin, Fink said in an interview on Fox Business, but he's hoping to democratize crypto. The money management giant filed paperwork last month to set up an exchange-traded fund that invests directly into Bitcoin, which promoted a flurry of similar applications from rival issuers and a rally in Bitcoin's price to over $30,000. And because of this, he's got trillions of dollars under management in conventional markets, and he's now looking for exposure into Bitcoin, which he's now classing as digital gold. In the past, he's obviously changed his tune a bit, but this is the catalyst that perhaps we could see driving the markets forward. And this section of video from that interview is what has me so excited right now.
Strong now and getting stronger. It's not getting weaker. We have the 3 large stimulus packages that were enacted over the last year, the Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS Act, and the IRA. It's all just starting the J curve. This is going to, and it was $1 trillion over many years of stimulus. It's just entering the...
It's been too much.
Yes, but it's entering the economy.
You got Larry Fink, who pretty much has a reputation in the levels of the likes of Warren Buffett when it comes to investments, with the opportunity to drive forward a crypto bull market, saying that the time is right for a bull market because the world's market is not quite looking as bad as people say they are. We also know that the charts are around 6 months ahead of kind of the doom and gloom macroeconomic markets that we were reading about back in January. Now we would anticipate the move to being a more positive one. We're going to see quantitative easing as we move up into the next election cycle and various other things flood forward. Now, there's obviously, I want to say, no guarantee that we are in a bull market or a bear market, but I just want to fight from the side that I believe that we are in a bull market. And maybe we will see a pullback at some point. And if we get above certain levels, then, we're going to continue to push higher, but we will get a pullback. So what do I need to know in order to make money and stay safe in these crypto markets? Well, firstly, all I know for sure, guys, is the price of all these assets right now is much lower than it's been in the past. And if you were to pay attention to what I was showing you here, where we've potentially like a quarter into our run up, and then we're going to see a massive run into the future. Well, if you believe that to be true, then the next rally is going to be absolutely unbelievable when it comes to the Bitcoin price. You're talking Bitcoin prices up towards 100K or so. Well, that means that from the current prices we're looking at, that we've got a great opportunity to be able to buying in much cheaper than we could be buying in later on. Now, you know that we might see further moves towards the downside. And people are like, oh, well, there's guaranteed movement towards the downside. We are guaranteed to see. I'm tired, guys, of people telling me that anything is guaranteed in this market. I'm telling you, this is my idea, a theory, and I think this is what's going to happen. But it doesn't really matter if it doesn't happen and it pulls back against me, because I've still got a plan in place for that. One of the major problems with telling everyone that the bull market won't get started until after the halving is that most people are going to sit on the sidelines until it's too late, and they're going to go and try and buy Bitcoin, etc., when Bitcoin's already up at around 70, 80K, when really they should just be buying it around 30K, knowing that at some point it's going to return to 70K plus. The same is true for all the altcoins pretty much that we've talked about on this channel. We've got hbar currently sat around 4 cents, knowing that its all-time high is around 12x from here. And, if that market cycle is correct, then we could be running into a 20 to 30x for the likes of hbar. We're going to see potentially massive growth in all of these currencies. So potentially just waiting for lower prices off of this one idea that maybe the crypto markets can only get started after a Bitcoin halving because we're all too smart and no one else knows what they're talking about. Well, guys, I think you need to understand a little bit more about what's going on. Now that everyone is more aware of the different cycles within crypto, mainly because of things like YouTube and Twitter, where people are getting far more educated about this now, the people who manipulate the markets, the big money that move the markets around, are more than aware that everyone is waiting for after the halving to get involved in crypto. So maybe it would make now sense that they might do something a bit different, catch everyone out. Because ultimately, they can't make money if everyone's making money. This is not a game where everyone makes money. But if you want to make money, you need to do what everyone is not doing right now. And that, in my opinion, is to be DCing in as aggressively as I possibly can. And that might backfire against me, but I'm prepared for that. If it backfires against me, I continue to buy into the markets. But it's not for everyone, guys. I understand that there is downside risk and money doesn't grow on trees, okay? So look after it if you are looking to invest. And I tell you now again, you should only be using money that you can afford to lose. Don't use any money that you're thinking, I need this because I can't retire next year if I don't have that, whatever it is. Be very cautious, guys, okay? You might be able to make some good gains, agreed, but you also might never recover from it if you go in too hard. So be very cautious, okay? Don't do anything foolish, because we all have different ideas of risk, different tolerances for it, and we need to pay attention. If you want to know more and you want to discuss with other like-minded people, get in my free Telegram, guys, link down below in the description. Loads of heated debate in there about the Bitcoin halving and all sorts of other things. Happy to hear your arguments against it in there. So see you in the free Telegram, link down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, see you in the next one.